In 2019, exactly 3 years ago, I was here in this camp. The first time I heard of this place, International Christian Center, Uhogwa, which was originally created for the needy and less privileged of society, until in 2012 when it opened its arm to internally displaced persons as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency. It was a life-changing moment and experience for me. Today we're back again here in this camp to find out how has it been for them 3 years down the line, and most importantly, to know how they are coping in spite of COVID-19. As we move into this camp, I do not know what to expect. All I know is that life here will not be the same again as it was when we last visited 3 years ago. And yes, there is a change. With the reality of COVID-19, things are done differently. Like here, we have to wash our hands or sanitize. This, as they say, is now the new normal. On the face value, the people here are jolly. They play, they jump, they even dance in spite of the pandemic. But does this depict the true reality of life here? We come in early on our second visit to get a first-hand experience of a day here in this camp. Social distancing is obviously impossible. In fact, some of them have found their own sleeping spaces outside of the limited rooms available to house them. This is the same for both male and female hostels. But in spite of the unusual lifestyle here, the smile on their faces remains constant. While we focus on the reality of COVID-19 and how they are coping in the midst of the pandemic, we can't help but also notice the other needs in the camp. Food doesn't seem much here, and where available, don't expect a balanced diet, though they are prepared here in the camp by the internally displaced persons themselves. Now, to make feeding possible, Evelyn, the camp official, breaks down what it takes to make a meal here. Let's add that eating twice a day here is a luxury.
Feeding here is very challenging because of the crowd. It takes much to feed them. We are not able to feed them 3 times a day, most times twice to feed them. Imagine if they have to eat and be satisfied. We have to cook rice per meal. We have to cook 15 bags of rice. We have to cook it morning, afternoon, evening. So per day, you have to cook 45 bags of rice. So it's really challenging. If we have to cook something like beans and yam, 4 bags of beans, it is sometimes 200 tubers of yam, sometimes 300 tubers of yam, if they have to be satisfied. So you see the challenge I'm talking about. And if we have to make eba, Nigeria popular food, we have to make at least 12 bags of 50 kg per meal. And then we have to make tuwo, which is, a kind of food for people from the northern part of Nigeria. We have to make at least minimum of 12 bags. And so looking at this is outside the ingredient for soup, stew, and other things. And as I'm talking to you now, for a long time, these children, they've not eaten meat. Apart from maybe somebody brought food for them. Say we cook food, put meat inside. No, because it is challenging. A truckload of firewood doesn't last us for a week. So approximately, we use 5 trucks of firewood.
And one truck is about how much?
It's about 95 to 100,000 naira. And you buy 5 of it monthly. And then you're not talking of fuel and diesel. We pump water every time. For this crowd, you see, we use fuel and diesel. We're not yet connected to the national grid. So we spend a lot on fuel and diesel.
Now, Edo State, where this camp is located, has over 2,000 cases of COVID-19 as at the time of filming. So the worry about COVID-19 here, therefore, is understandable.
We have studied all the guidelines, the protective rules and all that, and we are applying them here. It's not so easy because most of them are young people. They like to play, and we don't have like what I'm wearing now. There are quite few here, and the sanitizers, the soap and all that, there are quite few here. But the least we have been able to do is to keep them away from visitors. Unlike visitors, they like to come and play with them and all that. But at this period, we make sure that when visitors come, they are kept in special location. If you have any reason to bring something, you just put it there, and then when the visitor goes, the workers, they kind of sanitize those things, and you know, before they bring them in. This is the minimum that we are able to do at the moment. Yes, not to, and we just feel okay if nobody brings it from outside. There is no way it can get in. So let's keep everyone here from having this close contact with people from outside. But then we have some workers who would need to go to the market, who would need to go get fuel and all that. So those ones, we always tell them, we wear face masks. I mean, it's just hope against hope.
And to remain safe, the camp officials take precautions.
We are giving the children soya protein. This is a complete nutritious food dietary that will help to boost their immune system, and it helps to prevent any bacteria, any infection that can easily beset them. So we have to do this in order to protect them away from every sickness, every kind of infections. And you know, especially this COVID-19 period, you know, when the immune system is down, it can easily be infected by any kind of disease. We are starting with the age of 1 year to 15 years. Gradually we increase the pace to everyone in the camp in order to make their immune system to be very strong.
Well, but for little Adamu, this is not a pleasant experience after all. Not so much of face masks wearing is seen here. Keeping a safe distance is also almost impossible for obvious reasons. But we noticed there are a few buckets of water, soap and sanitizers here and there. But away from COVID-19, how are these internally displaced persons faring? Having been away from home, have they found a new home?
I'm a native of Chinene in Goza local government area of Borno State, northeast part of Nigeria. And I left Borno State to come to this state because the Boko Haram terrorists that's terrorizing the whole northeast, especially Borno and Adamawa. So, means that there's no place to rest, means that the schools were closed, and then, so I was looking for a place to rest, to find a solace. So God helped me. I got connected with Pastor Solomon through somebody that knew him then, that is taking care of orphans and the less privileged one. So that was how I made my way here, and glory be to God, I found myself here. When I came, I started from secondary school. And 3 years later, I made my CCE at Rotterdam, and I got admission to study medicine and surgery.
I came here, I started in JSS 3. And from JSS 3, the first time I had problem trying to keep up. But over the period of time I stayed here, I was able to integrate. I was able to be promoted to SS classes. And from SS classes, I wrote my exams and I was lucky to pass. After passing, I applied for the admission of University of Benin in 2018, and I got admitted to study business administration. And right now, as I'm talking, I'm in 200 level, and I see that there is truly improvement in my educational sector.
Lami is now 20 years old. She is here with her siblings, but not with her parents. Her older sister was one of those kidnapped in Chibok by Boko Haram insurgents on that night of April the 14th of 2014. She seems to be settling or moving on. However, not without the thoughts of her kidnapped sister. I'm wondering, 3 years after, what has happened for you? What has changed?
There is a really big change in my life. So many things, especially in the aspect of my education. Before, when I came here, I don't know how to read anything. Even though I read, I cannot understand it. But now, I can understand my courses, I can understand my subject. If I read anyone, I can easily understand it. And in the aspect of my life, with the encouragement I'm getting from my pastor, my ministers, my leaders, my seniors, those that are in university, they will gather us and encourage us. It's really a blessing to me. And at that time, I will sit down alone, I'll be thinking, with God have planned for me, I'll be thinking so many things. But with the encouragement, with the advice, with everything that I'm getting it from here, I'm now able to forget some things that used to take away my mind from reading my books. Sometimes if I carry my books, I will start shedding tears. But now I will study my books, I will understand them, I will feel well. So it's really a great to me within these 3 years.
I can see the improvement myself. Remember the last 3 years, the last time I was here 3 years ago, you were nothing close to who you are now. Yes, so, I can say that indeed there is massive growth. Well, let's talk about, those things that you used to remember and they pain you. I am sure that one of it particularly would be about your sister, who was one of the abducted Chibok girls. Yes. Since then, have you heard anything from her or about her whereabouts?
No. I think she's still alive, but I don't know where she is. And in my heart, I still having hope that I will still see her in life again.
And your family, where are the rest of your family members?
They are somewhere around Borno.
When was the last time you spoke to your family members?
I think it was last year around April.
May your dreams come true. Though life has dealt them a heavy blow, the young ones have remained focused on their academics, aspiring to be doctors, engineers, or lawyers. Many of the boys and girls are in different higher institutions of learning. Although officials of the camp took time to recognize the goodwill of their friends and donors, they say more help is needed. A deliberate attempt to invest on education is crucial.
The reason why I choose law is because when I was growing up, I see the way some people that are being ignorant, they are being oppressed, they don't know about their rights. When I see this, it makes me feel concerned about them, but don't know their rights. And even when I get to know about the fundamental human rights, the rights that we have as a human being, I was like, if I got to be in a position where I can help those people, these less privileged ones, I would like to help them. And also, apart from that, there was this farm that my parents had, that it was the farm that my dad inherited from his parents. The government come from nowhere, they wanted to set up a camp for a particular thing. They just take up the farm. They took a farm from different people. They didn't pay for the land, nothing. That's how they use that land. And many people, when I heard about that thing, it was really paining me because that was the only land that my father inherited. Then that thing empowers me, make me to have passion to want to become a lawyer, so that when I be in that position, not only go and fight for that my family land. There are many people that are still passing through same situation,
I also like to go and fight for them.
I'll be able to make a huge impact in the society. I'll be able to help those who cannot afford legal service with a free legal aid. And I'll be able to advocate those who cannot speak for their right or those who don't know their right. Their right are being infringed upon, those who are being imprisoned unlawfully. They don't know why they are being captured and put in prison. I'll be able to stand for those people and deliver them and free them. I'll be able also to help those who are having a dispute over a land to an extent that they are taking each other's life. I'll be able to help them to realize the fact that the last resort is not to kill themselves, but to settle it amicably with my legal knowledge that I will get after I successfully conclude my law course in India.
We couldn't help but also notice that essential amenities like water, good toilet and bathrooms remain a challenge here. And with COVID-19, running water is essential. Though there is an attempt by the Edo State government to provide water, it is unfortunately not working.
The project has been here for more than 4 years. It was brought by Federal Ministry of Water Resources. Actually, I appreciate the federal government for such an offer. But the challenge is that the boreholes never worked. It's not working. The solar panel is not good, and there are no solar batteries to conserve the energy. And I strongly believe that as long as the federal government awarded this contract, they settled the contractor. So I believe that the fault is from the contractor, Nebix engineering. Yes, so I believe the fault is from them. That's why I appeal to the federal government to call Nebix engineering to come and complete their work so that the purpose of the borehole, the solar borehole being awarded, will be accomplished right in this center.
Was this supposed to just serve this camp alone?
Actually, it's supposed to serve the camp and the neighboring community. But we don't know what actually happened.
Let me ask you, have you been able to establish any contacts, with this Nebix contractors?
Initially, then, we were calling, they will say, they will come, they will go, they will come, they will go until they finally stop. So
this is how many years ago?
About 4 years ago.
We tried to check the contractors of the project on social media based on the information they provided. And here is what we found. Nebix Engineering Limited. And this is the address. And about Nebix Engineering Limited. So this is the profile page of Nebix Engineering Limited on Manpower, Nigeria. This page contains the email, contact, phone number, address, website, and other contact information of Nebix Engineering Limited. And Nebix Engineering Limited is a registered company in Nigeria. Now, but the interesting part is contact Nebix Engineering Limited. Phone number not available, email not available, website not available, founded not available, employees not available, CAC number not available. Nebix Engineering Limited opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're closed on Saturday and Sunday. But let me just try to click on just in case. Of course, it is not available. So, okay. Well, one of the things that we have learned so far is the inner strength the internally displaced persons have displayed. They have proven that one can be beaten but choose not to remain fallen.
I am from Borno State local government of Goza, and I came here around 2014, October 10th. And the first time I came here, I remember when people came to interview, I wasn't happy at all because of the things I've gone through and the mental problem and all that I've gone through. But over the years, over my staying here, I learned to adapt and change and discover that the true source of happiness is just to stay happy. Because being unhappy will not solve anything. And looking back to what has happened, there's nothing we can do about the past, but we have the future in our hands and we can do something about it. So I've decided to forget about all the trauma, forget about the things I've passed through and face the future with seriousness. And I've decided to take up with my education seriously. And also I've decided to be happy, because happiness, I think, is the good choice I have made.
Many of the boys and girls are in different higher institutions of learning. Although officials of the camp took time to recognize the goodwill of their friends and donors, they say more help is needed. A deliberate attempt to invest on education is crucial.
We have more than 50 in various universities right now from the north. And look at the core professional courses that they are doing. Now, if the governors will see this as a good work and say, let me take up this responsibility, because these persons are coming back to the north. When they are not coming to serve me. I'm not doing it for myself. When they finish, they are going back to the north. Now, if the governors will see this as their project and then use this to encourage others, because they were all in the same level when they got here. They can speak English. They barely can even read. To communicate was a big challenge, but we kept talking to them. Persons were coming from different campuses, professors, doctors, different places, telling them, you can be like me, you can be like me, you can make it, you can make it. All is not lost. And hearing that again and again, they took it and they kept reading. I tell you, it was difficult to get textbooks for them. You can see 20 people reading one textbook, and you see them late night, they are reading. This one will finish and give to the other. That one will finish and give to the other. They were not deterred. They kept working hard. At the beginning, we've been existing for years, and there are persons here from other parts of Nigeria, like the South, orphans and all that. So at school during exam, those from the North were far behind. You see them taking positions like 50, 60. But within a year and two, everything changed. Till now, they're the one taking first to 20. They've maintained that position. And I must tell you, we taught them that, look, we don't do exam and practice here. You have to know this thing. And they invite this into their life. And you know what is happening? In all the universities that they attend, you can go and find out. They are the best in their schools. If you look at their result, it's all A's. Sometimes you have few B's. Their lecturers, head of department, they call me, they say, look, these children, they are phenomenal, they are fantastic. Now, these were just like these ones in the North, which means if they have good environment, good teachers, encouragement, and all like we gave them here, is going, within 2, 3, 4 years, we're going to start seeing results. Look at them now. They speak English. They know what physics is. They know what chemistry. They are thinking of how to change Nigeria, how to make Nigeria better than the developed world. So the next 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you're having medical doctors. You're having lawyers. Now, I don't think Nigeria have enough doctors. So here we are. We're going to give to the country more than 50 doctors. Now, that is going to raise the tempo of good health care service, delivery in this country. This country will be a better place. And my dream is, if we can do this, and we are seeing the success story, if we go further to the streets, to every other person, create this kind of environment for them, in the next few years, crime will be reduced, corruption will be reduced, and all the vices in the society will be highly reduced, or rather eradicated.
According to the International Organization for Migration's Displacement Tracking Matrix, displaced population in Nigeria as of August of 2020 stands at over 2 million people. However, the UNHCR, which is the United Nations Refugee Agency, says over 2.7 million persons have been internally displaced in northeast of Nigeria. And unfortunately, the conclusion by experts is that internally displaced persons will continue to be a feature in Nigeria as long as the security challenges persists.
It's been an incredible day and experience of shooting intensely here and hearing their stories, again reconnecting with these people after 3 years. As they count their blessings, obviously their challenges are still there. And with COVID-19, even more needs to be done. We are left in the joyful hope that answers will be gotten and solutions found.